Because it's all about money.
Like they say, the Leo. And of course, they had their briefing today.
Okay.
The man at the helm of affairs at that ministry, Abayomi Oluyomi, gave his stewardship on behalf of Mr. Governor of what the ministry have been doing to ensure that Lagosians get the dividends of democracy. And one of the things that stood out for me, apart from the figures, of course, is the vision of that ministry, which seems unique. It's the vision is to transform Lagos State into the model manager for public finance in Africa, and that kind of stood out for me. In the breakdown of the activities of the ministry in the last 1 year, the state government through that ministry have generated 333 billion naira in tax revenue in the first quarter of this year. And it also launched the Lagos State Revenue Portal to streamline, utilize, and unify revenue processes in all government MDAs in the states. The commissioner also made us understand that in the last 1 year, the state's internal generated revenue, that is IGR, stood at 1.3 trillion naira. That is the total amount of revenue that was generated internally in 2024. And he also stated that the state government also collected over 14 billion naira in land use charge. Even as he also mentioned that the ministry has onboarded over 800,000 property on the state database via aggressive enumeration campaigns. He explained the campaigns that was explaining was including meetings with CDA chairman, grassroots campaigns, installation, and all of that to ensure that Lagosians understand the reason why they must pay property tax. And so they've been able to onboard about 800,000 properties across the states. Also in the year under review, Lagos was able to maintain a debt service to revenue ratio of 19.2%. And according to him, that is one of the best in sub-Saharan Africa. According to him, that even the federal level, it isn't that good. So he said at a ratio of 19.2% within 30% fiscal responsibility threshold. Yeah, and also in the year under review, the state also commenced the issuance of a 14.815 billion naira green bond. So he was explaining that with the commencement of this issuance of this bond, that the state was also certified by the Climate Bond Initiative, and this makes Lagos the first subnational to achieve this certification.
That's quite commendable.
Yes, and then also, of course, it moved to what the state government is doing in terms of welfare for both staffs in various ministries through the Ministry of Finance. So in the year under review, the ministry disbursed about 1.19 billion naira in group life and personal accident claims to injured staff and family of deceased staff. So that's those people that died in active service. And of course, in the same year, just last week, I'm quoting him now, he said just last week, the state also paid 67.9 billion naira to about 20,956 retirees. And I want to use this word now, as that's when he was giving the account of the ministry, he said Lagos is not owing any retirees. Let's listen to his voice and let's hear him explain more.
Lagos, I must say, is not only Nigeria's economic and financial hub, but also Africa's largest subnational economy. The state is particularly sensitive to national and global fluctuations. To combat this, the Lagos Ministry of Finance has responded with deliberate and strategic policy initiatives. These efforts have not only buffered the state finances from shocks, but have also positioned Lagos State as a leader in subnational financial management.
Okay, so that was the commissioner, Abayomi Oluyomi, at the ministerial press briefing today. And so he round up the briefing by giving the projection for 2025, the ministry's projection for 2025. And the first thing that he mentioned was that the ministry will begin the conversion of idle assets in Lagos to liquidity for funding of critical infrastructure development.
I'm curious. So when you say idle assets, what exactly was?
So I think he mentioned something like the bridges and some assets like properties
that are not in
active use. Exactly.
Okay.
So they are trying to see a way they can turn that into money to fund critical
projects.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then, of course, he sounded a note of warning, more like a note of warning to defaulters and persons or businesses who trying to evade paying their tax.
Okay.
So he said in the second quarter, the state government will start the publication of the names of these revenue defaulters in the national dailies, starting from the second quarter. And then he also went on to say that in this year, the state government is going to establish revenue courts to prosecute these defaulters. So just like the way we have mobile courts that prosecute traffic offenders and various locations, so there will also be the establishment of revenue courts to prosecute revenue defaulters going forward. So that was basically the recap of everything that went down today.
Okay, quite a very comprehensive one from our reporter Wale Olowoporoku. Just gave us a rundown of everything that went on today at the ministerial press briefing. And in focus, we had the Ministry of Finance. Yes, indeed. So, of course, tomorrow it will be another ministry.
Another ministry, of course.
Any idea who we have tomorrow?
Not quite sure, but of course we'll be here tomorrow to, of course, give negotiations to load out.
So just keep it locked on this frequency, and of course trust that we'll always, keep you abreast of everything that transpired. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule.
I'm happy to be here.
And looking forward to having you, coming in to the studio tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All the best.